Always smiling. She's accommodated every bizarre request we've made. Likewise, Graham Badger isn't here, but Graham, if you're watching, thank you from all of us. On the ITV front, Tim Gooden has made his debut directing Royal Ascot, his first Royal Ascot, in our ear all week. It's a mammoth task. He's been calm and brilliant throughout. Likewise, Coops, the editor, Toddy and his VT team. I've talked about the camera team, sound department, floor managers, runners, makeup, the lot. We're one very big family, one absolute rabble at times, it must be said, but we've been looked after beautifully this week by our production team, led by Tess, with Saskia, Kira, Josie, Bridget, Maria, to name just a few. And another lady called Monica is a magician. She was persuaded by our director to come back from her sabbatical to mastermind Tuesday's carriage opener. Monica is blessed with genius. She had to put up with a very impatient Jason Weaver. Not only is she clever, she's also extremely patient. And on a personal note, I'd like to thank Tanya Stevenson, good old Tanya, who literally, I think, works 26 hours a day to make us look cleverer than we really are. Tans, you're a superstar. And finally, and most importantly, thank you to you at home. I know we've been competing with the football this week, so thank you for sticking with us. We've had around 1 million viewers each day, and I hope you've enjoyed it. And I think it's been a great advert at Ascot this week for our sport. We are not done yet. We've got one live race and the final part of Queens of the Turf. And in this part, Francesca
Pearson, Lola Showgirl still has the advantage as they race inside the last 100 yards.
Royal Ascot is obviously something we all want to do. It's the greatest meeting.
Lola Showgirl led the whole way.
Just incredible. Never dreamt that it was actually going to happen, especially on my first Royal Ascot ride.
First, number 16, Lola Showgirl.
There's more losing than winning in this game. The big days of winning at Royal Ascot makes the lot of lows worth it. I feel like it's a dying breed of people that believe that females and males can't compete at the same level in this sport. In other sports, when it's just physical factors, then I can understand, because natural ways men are always going to be stronger than females, but racing is so much more than that. It's tactical, it's how you present yourself to owners, it's reading a race, it's everything. So the physical side of it is not all the be-all and end-all, and people are starting to realise that. It's still surreal to think back at the race. I feel like I blinked and it was over almost. To do it on my first ride there was almost unbelievable. It's something that kids only dream of, that I was still the kid that was still dreaming of it. The winner was just, I still have to pinch myself now sometimes, because as I said, it's something that we all grew up dreaming about.
Talk to me about crossing the winning post here at Royal Ascot, because it's something you do at different tracks and different days throughout your career. But Royal Ascot is the top, it's the best of everything.
Yeah, it's just a completely different atmosphere, and it's like, first thing you cross and you think, job done, job done. And, you know, you're just so pleased for connections, because so much goes into it behind the scenes, you know. It's not easy to even get a runner at Royal Ascot, let alone train or ride a winner. It's a huge sense of relief, and, you know, you've done a service to your connections.
And Bradsell makes a big move on the outside, and Bradsell now moves into the lead under Holly Doyle from Royal Scotsman in second. They're inside the final half of furlong, and it's Bradsell who's got a couple of lengths lead, and Bradsell will win the Coventry Stakes.
Like, in my brain, I'm paid to do a job, so when I get the job done, it's a relief, and I like to move on to the next ride and get that job done. But obviously, Royal Ascot has got that extra kind of prestige and a buzz about it. So you've got to really enjoy those moments, because they don't last long and they don't last forever.
Holly Doyle has now just become the leading female rider here at the Royal Ascot meeting. That's a nice title to own.
Riding winners motivates me, and I've got quite high standards, and you know, once I got that taste of high-level success, I mean, it was hard getting to that level, but staying here is even harder.
Rhythm and Hoof finishing very strongly under Holly Doyle. Rhythm and Hooves wins.
I'm very driven, and I've got a lot more that I want to achieve. You know, I never sit back and think, oh, I've made it, oh, I've done this or that. It's just like, right, that's done, what's next, sort of thing.
She struck in Group 1 company early in the week. She wins again this afternoon in the final race on day 4. We welcome back to the winner's podium, Holly Doyle. Well done, Holly.
Holly Doyle, absolutely wonderful personality. She's great for racing. She's a great little jockey. She's a proper size jockey, isn't she? Yeah, she's fun. People like her, and she's very good. She's got ability to make horses run. I like the way she rides. She's very, you know, busy little jockey, and they do run for her, without a doubt.
I hope you've enjoyed that. What a really good series that's been this week.
Well, I'm now joined in the talking about who you were going to back today, and I said a lot of people have been talking up Hand of God.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Maybe they were just talking about the football incident.
That's one thing I got right today, anyway.
Memorizing.
Some big boys in here.
Oh my goodness, the two. Dawn Rising. I called him Stanley, walking around here. He is a big boy.
Yeah, last year's winner. Now, the thing about Dawn Rising and all of the, most of these, because it's the Queen Alexandra and we're going over a real distance here, 2 miles,
4,300 meters.
Longest race of the meeting. What it means is you get quite a lot of national hunt horses and jumps horses that are bred to jump a hurdle, maybe even jump a fence lining up here. A lot of jumps trainers representing. So there's a fair bit of size on offer. There should be a bit of maturity as well about them. They're not exactly sort of flighty, precocious young horses. You can just see it when they're striding around, can't you? Although, having said that, this grey is just a little on Drawn to Dream, a little bit on.
The whole backside of the group actually are all 4-year-olds, so maybe we'll see that towards the tail end of the group as they walk around here. Of the younger horses, I thought the 10 Maxident also made a fantastic appearance in here. Really, really well composed walking around.
Yeah, Run for Oscar is coming out there in the lilac and white colours. Was unlucky last year, and we'll be hoping for a better run here. Interesting booking of Maxime Guillon for Charles Burns.
Looks as if we could have a royal runner here. Blueprint hanging on grimly and is going to get there as they run to the line. Blueprint and Gary Stevens in the royal colours.
It's densely being grabbed now by Calanisi, and Calanisi gets up to win the Queen Anne.
Still in front, Russian Rhythm. Soviet Song's got to within a length, but Russian Rhythm is holding her on the run to the line. Russian Rhythm will complete the Guineas Coronation Stakes double and win for Sir Michael Stapp.
It's a happy and glorious day. Royal Ascot has won the Gold Cup for the Queen.
Crystal Ocean is in command. 80th Royal Ascot success for Sir Michael Stout.
And our finale is a race the great man has won twice, both with cover-up. Thank you for the messages I've had about my numerous thank yous. One's described me as a cheap version of Aidan O'Brien. Love you too, Crofty. Now, I wonder where Luke Harvey is at this time of day. It's what, nearly 6:10. Any sign there, Jason, of Luke? Bit sedate for our boy Harvey, isn't it? We'll try and track him down.
64. This race has been hit by quite a number of non-runners, so just the 9 of them now going to the start. Number 1, Trujan, he was never going to run. He needed the rain, so that didn't come. He's out. Number 2, Dawn Rising, the reigning champion in this race, the winner of the race last year. William Buick rides this time around. It was Ryan Moore 12 months ago. Number 3 is Fassel and Rossa Ryan. Number 4, Magellan Strait, Hugh Hogan. Number 5 is Postilio and James Doyle. Good luck, by the way, to our ITV7 person who's obviously got through the 6th race because you had Hand of God. So now you've got on to Postilio. So we're keeping our fingers crossed. Postilio will win you our ITV7 today. Number 6 here is Run for Oscar, who's the Mount of Maxime Guillon, finished 3rd in this race last year. Maybe he was a bit unlucky. 7 is out. Number 8 is Uxmal and Dylan Brown McMonagle. 9, Drawn to Dream, Safi Osborne. 10, Maxident and David Egan. And 11 is Nachtgeist and Hector Crouch take out 12, 13 and 14. Now that last race, if it was on the cusp, was today going to go punters or bookmakers Bookmaker's Way, Brian Gleeson. I think the punters have hit those bookmaker chappies big and hard with the fist of the hand of God.
Now we've had a bedtime story, we've had a hand of God, and Joseph O'Brien has the top two in the market. In the finale, Royal Ascot 2024, Uxmal 9-4, Dawn Rising last year's winner 5-2, Run for Oscar 4-1, the IT7 viewer Postilio is a 7-1, but the right people are backing it, so it definitely has a lifeline. Drawn to Dream for Jamie and Safi Osborne, father and daughter 10-1 and 14-1 bar. Ray, just very quickly, it's been some meeting.
Oh, unbelievable, it's the pinnacle of our year. I wish it was on every week. Great glamour, thoroughbred horses, fabulous crowds, good results, great racing.
It's the lucky last, folks. Uxmal 9-4 favourite.
Lucky last for us, and we all
Well, our marathon for the last, and Joseph O'Brien won this race last year, but this fella is from Joseph's yard, Magellan Straight. He's on his toes, isn't he? He looks raring to go. Last saw him running around Chester, different type of track today, but yeah, he's clearly feeling well in himself. Good signs in the paddock for him. Bit of a gap back to number 5, and this is Emmett Mullen's runner. It's fair to say Emmett's pretty shrewd, isn't he? And he hasn't had Postilio for all that long, so who knows the improvement that's still left to come. Again, can't really knock him for an awful lot. He's not the biggest horse. He's got a forward walk. He's marching on around. Cheek pieces on, but everything fairly straightforward with him. We have got a bit of a gap back. Not so many runners in this field, so things are going a little bit slower. It makes it a bit easier for us. Damo's carrying that heavy camera. It means you get a bit of a break halfway around. But here we have number 6, Run for Oscar, another Irish raider. We've got a bit to do, haven't we, taking on all these Irish runners in this final race of the meeting. But Run for Oscar, he has been very well fancied. Quite a light-framed horse. He's having a good look at the camera there, isn't he? A little bit of a monkey, I suppose. He probably couldn't see us all that well when he has that visor on. So he's just seen Damo and he's all happy now. Back another one. This is last year's winner, Dawn Rising. He's getting a bit warm, he's quite sweaty. 2 handlers for this fella just to try and keep a lid on him. Keep an eye on that, he's definitely getting a little bit edgy. I wonder if he's had a word with Cardem to see if they can both do the double and win back-to-back races at Ascot on our final day. And we'll take a look at one more. This is Natchgeist for Gary and Josh Moore. It'll be their first runner as a combination training. He's also getting a bit warm. It's obviously a long day for them down in the stable yards. Keep them as cool as they can until they get up into the paddock, and ultimately the sun is now on their back. So these stayers, they've got a long way to go. So far so good, not too many complaints, 1 or 2 just getting a little bit sweaty.
Well, it's been a great week if your name's been O'Brien. Donaker, of course, with Porta Fortuna. Aidan with just about everything. Now let's end with a bang with Joseph O'Brien. You've got half the field, Joseph, and 3 massively different types of horses as well. Let's start with Uxmal, who's lightly raced and could be anything moving forward.
Yeah, he could, Matt, absolutely. He's unexposed, progressive stayer. It's his first time going this kind of extreme distance, so that's probably the question mark for him. His dam was a quickish type filly, but he's always looked like a stayer, so Dylan will be riding him with a bit of confidence, and if he stays, he has a really good chance of being in the mix.
Dawn Rising, totally different, experienced horse, has been jumping, won this race last year, but did you think you were a little bit lucky against Run for Oscar or not?
Yeah, well, I think Ryan gave him a fantastic ride last year. He's come here in good shape. We know that he stays the distance, which is a big help in a race like this. He's a year older, but he's fit and well, and there's no reason why he can't run well again, but I think it's probably at least as good a race this year, if not better.
And Magellan Straight will be a bigger price of those 2, but has already shown can pop up at a big price.
Yeah, no, he can, and he's won a bunch of races as well. Now, he tends to have 2 ways of running, very good and not so good. He wasn't as good in Chester the last day, but he's a horse that we know stays very well. He'll probably end up in front because he likes to have room in his races and he likes to lead, and obviously he won the Irish Cesarewitch last year under Hugh Horgan, who rides him today. He gets a very good tune out of the horse, so he'll make sure it's a stamina test anyway.
Your gut feeling the best of them is?
Well, I suppose you'd always go with the least exposed one, which
Uxmal. That's all we need, Joseph. Thank you.
Okay, some breaking news for you. 3 bits, actually. Just heard that the wonderful Yukon Glen has just won his 13th race today. What a superstar he's been. Ridden by Paul Mulrennan as always, which is lovely, up at Ayr. We could have an ITV7 winner if Postilio wins. One ticket left in the ITV7 going for that huge jackpot, 100 grand today. Eddie Hills has won our Man of the Week in that survey. The 84-year-old Irishman came second. And Kevin Blake, I don't think I've ever seen you look so anxious. You work with Joseph. It's been a long week.
It has. They've been running well in the main, but look, you come here for winners, and this looks the best chance of the week. Like Joseph, I'd favour Uxmal. His form reads really well. He was second in a listed race in France at the back end of last season. It worked out very well. He's got the right racing character to relax enough for this extreme test. Dawn Rising's been there and done it. I just hope one of them wins it.
Good luck, Kevin. Good luck, Joseph. The final one comes forward. That will be Maxident. Race number 35 with Mark.
So they start at the straight mile start, but then when they've covered a mile, they'll go round again. They're off for the Queen Alexandra Stakes, and it was Run for Oscar, who was rather slowly into stride. Magellan Straight is hustled up to try and get the early lead. He didn't break that alertly. He was taken on by the grey Drawn to Dream and out wide by Maxident. But at the end of the first quarter of a mile, Magellan Straight now has the lead, but he's having to be roused along still by Hugh Horgan to hold that position. Maxident towards the outside races in second place. The grey is Drawn to Dream, who is racing in third. Last year's winner, Dawn Rising, the gold and green hoops on the outside of the field as they complete their first 3 furlongs. Next is Uxmal. Uxmal is racing at the moment alongside Postilio, who's followed by Fasol, and then Nachtgeist. And as they complete their first half mile, the slow starting Run for Oscar is still the back marker. So very shortly they are going to join up with the round course, and they still have over 3 furlongs to go before they pass the winning post with another circuit ahead of them. So it's Magellan Straight who leads the way. To the outside, Maxident racing in second. Between horses, Drawn to Dream is just third. On the inside rail, Postilio. Out wide is Dawn Rising. Then there's a break of a couple of lengths now to Uxmal, who is racing in 6th, and now he is clear of the other 3. Fasol is racing in 7th. In 8th is Nachtgeist, and still the back marker is Run. And they're going to get a great cheer from the crowd as they come up past us with a circuit to go in the Queen Alexandra Stakes. And leading them past the stands with a circuit ahead of them, it is now David Egan and Maxident. So Maxident has now gone on to Magellan Straight, who's now going to have to give chase in second. Around the outside is Dawn Rising. Then against the rail, Postilio. On that one's outer is Drawn to Dream. And now they head away from the pack stands in the final race of Royal Ascot 2024. And the horse who is still just slightly detached at the back of the field is Run for Oscar in the hands of Maxime Guillaume. And now Maxident has slipped away from the field. They're going down the steepest part of the hill at the moment, and he's building up a head of steam here, and that's carried him now into an 8-length lead. So it's Maxident by 8 lengths to Magellan Straight racing in second, half a length to Dawn Rising on the outside in third. A length and a half away, Postilio on the inside is in fourth. Further length back to Drawn to Dream, who is racing in 5th position. And then Fasol, who's on the inside of Uxmal, and still at the rear of the field are Nachtgeist and finally Run for Oscar. So they're going through the halfway point of the Queen Alexandra, and now they're on the turn at Swinley Bottom. They've levelled out at the bottom of the hill, but in less than a quarter of a mile it will be steeply uphill back towards home in this true stamina test. Maxident, that lead which opened up to 8 lengths before halfway, has now been whittled away, and that lead now is down to only about a length and a half. Dawn Rising racing in second and travelling well, already ridden along. Magellan Straight in third, and will very shortly lose that position, but he is not travelling at all. Postilio in the light blue is, so too is Drawn to Dream on the outside, and now the whole field are beginning to bunch up. Now first to last of the whole 9 is no more than 6 lengths as Maxident is being driven along. He leads, but he's only there on sufferance. Dawn Rising, William Buick is going to have to let Dawn Rising go, and now leads by just over a length. Drawn to Dream, now nearest pursuer in second. Postilio now comes under a ride, but Uxmal in the dark blue is beginning to get into contention, has now moved into third. Fasol now into Geist into 5th, and Run for Oscar from a long way back cuts the inside and is staying on. The field in the home straight of the Queen Alexandra. Dawn Rising, William Buick cries, "Catch me if you can," and he's caught immediately. Uxmel blasts past him, blasts clear, goes on for Dylan Brown McMonigal. Now the danger is on the outside. That is Run for Oscar, who is running hard, but he's running out of time. He's still got 4 lengths to find on Uxmel, driven out as they come up towards the line. A first winner at Royal Ascot for Dylan Brown McMonigal. Uxmel has taken the Queen Alexandra. Run for Oscar in 2nd, Dawn Rising in 3rd, 1, 2, 3 for Ireland. Fassol was in 4th, and the others at long intervals. In fact, 3 of them have virtually been pulled up in the home straight. The 2-1 favourite wins. Another O'Brien on the board for Joseph. It's his winner at this particular great festival, and for one of the great young talents of Irish racing, a first winner at Dylan Brown McMonigal. So let's take a look at how this race was won. We heard from Joseph O'Brien before the race that Magellan Straight was going to try and make this a true test. You see what happens in a race like this, 2 3/4 miles. Very few of these horses ever run this distance, and therefore you see them drop away. And when they hit the brick wall of stamina, they stop very, very quickly. And even last year's winner, Dawn Rising, couldn't live with the speed at the end of 2.5 miles that Uxmel showed to quicken away. It was a devastating turn of foot by this young progressive stayer to win from Run for Oscar, who was given a very patient ride by Maxime Guillon. Some may say a little too patient. He's come from a long, long way back. He's given first run to Uxmel, but this is another significant win. Not only have we seen another really good son of Galileo, who's getting better the further he goes, but most of us, and if you're watching the Racing League on ITV over the last year, you will have got to know the name of Dylan Brown McMonigal, one of the big young rising stars in Irish horse racing, and he's had a very frustrating week. We've talked about his boss, Joseph O'Brien, having a frustrating week, but Dylan Brown McMonigal had as well, but he now has got his winner on the board.
Well, that was some atmosphere to ride in the last race. Dylan, congratulations, a winner here at Ascot for you. Talk me through the performance of this horse today, first of all.
Yeah, well, he was very good. He had a nice prep run the last day in Killarney, and he did it really well. He was always going to handle the ground. The step up and trip was never going to be a worry, and Joseph had him spot on for the day, and great to reward him with a winner like this. I know it's the last race and we've had to wait a while. He's been hitting the crossbars, but I must say a massive thanks to him and the whole team for getting him here and giving me the opportunity.
Tell me, what kind of buzz is it to ride in that last race? Because obviously a lot of the big races have gone, but the crowd noise, I mean, how much of it did you take in through that race?
Well, when you come up here the first time, there's a big roar nearly as if it's a finish, but this lad's really relaxed, and when I hit the front, I couldn't really hear the noise. I was more keeping my head down and making sure he got the job done, but delighted for everyone. Ashley rides them out every day, does a great job with them, and a massive thanks to everyone who's helped me get here. It's been unbelievable, and to get a winner here is very special.
Congratulations. I'm going to have a quick word with Ashley. Dylan giving you some credit there, because you ride this fella out every day.
Yeah,
what was that like for you?
It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing.
Were you confident about the stamina?
I was, but it's still nerve-wracking watching them and just praying that he stayed going and he did.
Have you led up and been involved with the Royal Ascot winner yet? Or?
This is my first Royal Ascot winner.
And?
It was very special, very special.
Well, enjoy it. Very well done to you all. Congratulations. Well, Joseph O'Brien told us seconds before the off. He said this horse would win, Uxmel, and you were correct. Joseph.
Thank you very much. Yeah,
for someone who's had a shocking week tipping, you have been outstanding. Well done.
Thanks, Matt. Listen, it's nice to get a winner. I'm delighted for Maria and Electra and all of the Niarchos team to have a winner in Ascot is very special. It's a long wait waiting for the last race of the week, but we'll enjoy it nonetheless.
I mean, everyone only will remember this. They'll forget that Aidan's won much and Donegal, and they'll just remember the last race. Tell me, is this quite a useful stare in the making? I mean, I'm not saying he's going to be an Ascot Gold Cup winner or anything, but how good might he be?
Yeah, no, there's no doubt that he's a useful stayer. I think he proved that today. And his form from previously has been quite good. He had a good run in France last year, and you'd have to say that it was an impressive winner.
And I don't know how you answer this, and you might just smile and walk off, but we spoke to your dad and Willie Mullins together this week, and Willie was saying, crikey, the family is just incredible, and look at Royal Ascot. 2 brothers and their dad, all winning trainers at Royal Ascot. Do you understand how that is pretty amazing for a family?
Yeah, no, we really do, Matt, and we all understand how hard it is to win a race. To even end up in the winners' enclosure here and finish in the first 4 is so difficult. So it's very special for us all to have had winners here this week.